Here we back. Now, I want to give a disclaimer before we get started. Like I said in my video yesterday, this is time to be funny and this is time to be serious. And right now is the time to be serious. Do not come into the comment section with any sideways comments. Nah, don't even try to crack no jokes. No, we are being 100% serious today. Now, unfortunately, because the white mainstream corporate media hasn't boosted up these headlines and these stories, the black community is not going to give a damn about it. You know, we're not going to tear up the streets like George Floyd. You know, if the white man don't put it on the TV and put $100 million worth of marketing behind the shit, black people ain't going to talk about this shit. So me, on my tiny little platform of 4,000 followers, you know, my tiny congregation, my little tiny congregation that I built up myself, I'm going to talk about it, even though it's not going to mean much. And this video is not going to get no views. It's not going to get shot through the algorithm, you know, but I'm going to talk about it. And I've been sitting on this story for 2-3 days. Because I don't even want to talk about it because shit like this really messes with me on a deep level. But anyways, let's get into it. Like I mentioned on my video the other day, I'm somebody, I watch the news every day. I watch the news every single day. I pay attention to what's happening, especially among our people. And a few weeks ago, I seen this headline, right? I seen this girl went missing out of Gwinnett County. I believe her name was Ashley Bell. Now, to be honest, I didn't think much of it, man. Kids go missing literally every single week in America, around the world. Kids just be going missing. I don't know how it happens, bro. Kids just be going missing all the time, man. All the time. You know, it's been kids missing since like 1955. They never been found. No, I'm dead serious, man. Go check out the list of missing people going back to like 1950, bro. It's been people, all type of people just been missing, bro. They never been found. Their bodies never been found. They just vanished without a trace, man. I'm telling you, bro. Look it up. Now, when I seen this girl went missing, it kind of messed with me because I'm like, damn, she took her final exam. She went to school. It was like the last day of school and she just vanished without a trace. Nobody know what happened. And then 2 weeks later, another girl from the same school went missing in the same exact fashion. Take a look up on the screen. And this girl is still missing, bro, going on like 2 weeks. I'm gonna give her the spotlight real quick because they still looking for her. Layla Nojakovic is 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighs 200 pounds, was last seen in gray sweatpants, maroon shirt, black flip-flops with white writing and pink backpack. She has a tattoo of a heart with a circle on her left wrist, scarring on her left forearm, and her left nostril is pierced. And I believe she's still missing. She has still not yet been found. And go check out the list of how many kids are missing, bro. It's an endless amount. And in this video, I'm gonna talk about an interesting topic. I'm gonna talk about something called working class human traffickers and wealthy elite international human traffickers. Because in this topic, this whole thing, you can't really put, the system, the poverty, this, that, and the third, the standard shit that we hear when we talk about different topics in the community. Because these girls are not coming from the struggle. These girls not coming from poverty. The system ain't against them. They are well fed, well taken care of. They come from good homes and they out here going missing. So we got to have a deeper discussion. And this video is for if you're a parent, you a big brother, you a guardian, you a aunt, you a uncle. Remember, like I said, do not come into the comment section with no slick comments, no jokes. We are being 100% serious today. Now, they found this girl, Ashley Bell, about a month later, man. They found her about a month later, bro. And they found her at some crusty old man's house, some 41-year-old man, some 41-year-old diabetic dude. And she was in that man's house for a month, man. I'm gonna run the footage and I'm gonna come back on my commentary. Let's go.
Tonight at 11, new details in the weeks-long search for a Gwinnett County teen. A 41-year-old man is behind bars tonight and faces numerous charges in 2 counties, while right now the girl is safe at home with her parents. 11 Alive's Don White joining us now with what we have learned within just the past few hours here. Don?
Jennifer, according to court documents, the 14-year-old girl and the suspect, who was almost 3 times her age, they met on a dating site and had sex numerous times. That man now faces charges of felony child molestation in Clayton County, as well as other charges in Gwinnett County.
All right, we back. Now, I want to highlight something real quick. Take a look up on the screen. It happens to be that Ashley Bell was chatting with a strange man online on a website. They won't specify the website, though. And I read so many articles on this topic, man. Like I told you, I've been sitting on it for 2-3 days because it's been messing with my head. But they won't say the website. Like you would think, right? You would think they would want the community to at least have that basic information, right? What is the website? What was the site? What was the app? They won't tell a dating app where old men can meet 14-year-old girls. Like, I don't understand. Don't you need like a driver's license or an ID? You got to verify your information to get on certain websites. How is that possible? What dating app has terms and conditions that allows 13, 14-year-old girls to link up and meet and chat with 41, 50-year-old dudes? I looked high and low. I searched high and low. I looked under the dresser, under the couch, in between the damn covers, behind the sofa. I cannot find this website. Y'all let me know if y'all find the website. Get into my comment section if you can find it, so I can at least have this information, bro. I got a lot of younger sisters. I got a lot of female cousins that I feel responsible for. And I would like to know, because I be trying to stay on top of them, bro. You know, you got this Discord shit. You know, they be on the TikTok. They be, oh my God, they be on the YouTube. So you try to stay on top of things and try to, you know, stay hip and try to, you know, still connect with them so they can still be open with you so you know what's going on. And I try to tell her about these stories. You know, how kids be going missing. Like, be careful when you when you go into school, man. Be careful who you talking to on Roblox and Discord and things like that. You know, because I know the predators, they be up on these apps where they know the kids is playing games and congregating. So I be trying to stay on top of things. But you never know, man. You never know. And kids are just not that smart. Remember, like I said, I don't want no slick comments in this video because we talking about children, bro. We talking about 13, 14, 15-year-old girls. You know, listen, they don't know nothing, man. They don't know shit, bro. They dumb. You know, man, kids is dumb. But so no slick comments about the child. We talking about children today. And going back to what I said about the working class human trafficker and the international wealthy human trafficker, I'm trying to approach this topic in a way where I won't get flagged by the algorithm, where my channel won't get terminated. I'm trying to really tiptoe around this subject because it's a very sensitive topic. If I'm not mistaken, the only reason they were able to catch this guy specifically was because they got him on surveillance camera, if I'm not mistaken. But apart from that, they were not able to track her down through her cell phone or through any debit card activity or nothing. She went off the grid, bro. No phone, no nothing, no money, nowhere to go. So at the end of the day, she was just shacked up in this house with this dude. And like I said, man, go check out the list of missing people going back decades and decades that have never been found, that have vanished without a trace, bro. And it's not even just children. You even got grown folks. They went to work one day and never came back. They went to class one day and never came back. They went to the store one day and never came back. It's crazy, bro. Now, I don't know what's happening in Georgia because, like I said, that girl was just one of two girls missing from the same school, and they still looking for that other girl, that Layla Nojakovic girl. They still looking for her. She's still missing. And in Georgia, there was another girl who didn't even go to school. A girl who was being homeschooled. She went missing, bro. Check this story out, bro. It's crazy, man. This dude, take a look up on the screen. They caught this dude. This dude ended up linking up with this girl on Instagram, a 14-year-old girl, right? 13, 14-year-old girl, I forget the age. He left where he was at in California, went to Georgia, picked her up. I think he took her to the hotel. Bro, I'm going to play the footage. Bro, you got to stay on top of your kids, man. This girl was being homeschooled. Homeschooled. Bro, this black girl was being homeschooled. Yo, that's what I'm saying. Y'all think y'all be trying to, you know, I'm going to homeschool my children. I'm going to do everything self-made, independent, and you could still fall victim. Like I said, this is not girls coming up in the struggle in poverty. These are girls coming from good backgrounds, and they are falling victim to what I call working class human traffickers. I'm going to run the footage, and I'm going to come back on my commentary. Let's go.
Oakwood police got a call. Parents frantic. Their 14-year-old missing.
They woke up and found her gone.
Sergeant Chris Campbell was one of the responding officers.
But once I started searching the premises and finding out some more details,
he quickly realized
she obviously had been talking to somebody online.
Good police work along with technology helped Oakwood police track down the missing teenager to a hotel 50 miles away.
I immediately called College Park and got them involved, sent officers out there. They located her in a room within the motel. And it was a Holiday Inn down there, which is known for human trafficking.
A rescue in just the nick of time.
He flew out in California to meet her, and the plans were that she was going to go back to California with him.
If you are curious how a man from Los Angeles found his way into this teenager's life 2,000 miles away,
through her Instagram page, that's how they were communicating back and forth with each other.
Groomed.
It's very easy to manipulate them and promise them big things and lure them in.
Lured.
She left in an Uber that was sent up here to her.
And sexually assaulted.
He did meet her for sex.
The heartbreaking reality of human trafficking. And your child could be the next victim.
Know what your kids are doing on social media. Know who they're talking to. Get in their phones. Know their passcodes.
All right, we back. Now, both of the girls in the situation, I believe both of them were black, right? But you know what was weird? In the Ashley Bell situation, how come they didn't tell us the website that she was talking to that dude on, man? Like in this one, they told us specifically they were on Instagram. They was on Instagram DMs talking on Instagram. Thank you, cool. But on the other story, where they found a girl at the house, how come they didn't tell us the site? Like, am I bugging? Am I being a conspiracy theorist? Like, am I doing too much? Because Why would they just say they were just on some anonymous website? They were just on a site. I don't know, man. Listen, y'all go check that out. Y'all go do y'all research and come back to me if y'all find out what website specifically they were on, because I really want to know, just to be careful. I don't got kids or nothing, but I got sisters, I got cousins, I got female relatives all around that age, and they all up on these electronics and they all up on these websites and these apps. And like I said, because the white mainstream corporate media is not putting the magnifying glass on these stories, you're never going to really see, the black community at large really go hard and, go tear up the streets and go hard and like the George Floyd. That shit was manufactured, right? That shit is manufactured. If the white man don't put his money down to promote something, black people are not going to talk about it. We got to rely on tiny platforms like myself to get the word out there. But, the mainstream platforms, those at the top, they're not going to talk about it, bro. They're not going to talk about it. The white mainstream corporate media, they are the one that dictate what black people care about, right? They're the ones that dictate what black people care about. If they're not putting money behind the story, it's not going to gain traction. Nobody's going to talk about it. You're going to get people here and there like me and stuff like that talk about it. But by and large, it's just going to fall by the wayside. Nobody's going to even remember that it happened. And to be honest, it even goes beyond just the black community, man. Like, kids are going missing just across the racial spectrum, the culture spectrum. Kids are just out here just vanishing, bro. I don't know how, but just watch your kids, man. Just watch your kids. That's all I can say. I don't got kids, but watch your damn kids. Watch your sisters. Watch your cousins. Watch them damn kids, man. And going back to what I said about how if the white mainstream corporate media is not talking about something and boosting something up in the headlines, black people are not going to talk about it. You remember that story from Kansas City? That white man that had a black woman locked up in his basement for a goddamn month, and then she ended up escaping, and she looked like she came out of a goddamn horror movie. You don't remember that story? I talked about it a couple times on my channel. But of course, if CNN not talking about it, black people are not going to give a damn about it. Take a look up on the screen. His name was Timothy Haslett Jr., a Kansas City man accused of keeping a black woman captive in his dungeon-like basement, will appear in court. Now, I believe this victim was a grown woman. She was not a child, but like I said, it happens to grown folks too, man. Grown folks just go missing. This lady just went missing. She vanished for like a month, and she was in some dude's basement. Now, I believe in this scenario, this girl was actually, how do I say it politically correct? She was walking the streets, right? She was walking the streets. She was in the sex work industry, right? So long story short, I believe she got kidnapped by a client. Now, I'll be honest. If a woman is walking the streets, you in the sex work industry, you online, you flying out, you taking bookings, then you already know you in the streets. That's against the law. Like, that's against the law. So once you living against the law, you got to understand that comes with the streets. Getting robbed, getting killed, getting kidnapped, getting violated. That happens in the streets. Just like you a drug dealer, you in the streets, you gonna get robbed, you gonna get assaulted, you gonna get, it is what it is. That comes with being in the streets. But thankfully, they found the dude, locked the dude up, and she was able to be rescued. And in fact, if I'm not mistaken, the girl that actually got rescued, she said she was not the only one in his basement. And in fact, the other victim that was with her, I believe she might have lost her life. I think she was the only surviving victim. I believe there are victims that actually lost their life. Go check out that story, man. It's a crazy story. Nobody talked about it because the white mainstream corporate media, they didn't put the money behind it, so black people didn't give a goddamn about it. Let's continue. Going back to what I said about the difference between working class human traffickers and international elite human traffickers. These guys in this case, where these girls go missing from high school, these girls go missing because they're talking to some strange guy on the dating app. These guys are what you call working class human traffickers. That guy that got that girl, that 14-year-old black girl in his house for a month, he was not no rich guy. He was not no elite, hopping on a private jet human trafficker. He was just a regular guy, a regular, diabetic, average working class guy, probably works a regular job, probably, drives, work at UPS or some shit, regular guy, regular house, regular property, regular car, driving like a 1999 Mitsubishi or something like that. And the way he is able to get his hands on victims is through social media, hopping on these dating apps, going on, Roblox or whatever. I don't know what the kids are on, going on Instagram, going on whatever website they said that she was on, that anonymous website. Maybe there's an anonymous website out there that, the predators can find victims on. I don't know. But due to the fact that we live in America and we have, certain systems in place, it's not like, a third world country. You could go to a goddamn village and go, run off, go adopt a random kid. Like, it's not like that in America. So in America, we're dealing with working class human traffickers that are snatching up people off the streets. And just think about for a second what her parents are going through, bro. Like, this girl does not come from the struggle, the poverty, nothing. No, she goes to school, she got clothes, she got a house, she got a room, she got a cell phone, she got everything she need. And then somehow she just ended up across town with some weirdo. And the court documents say we just shacked up in her house having sex with this girl for a month straight, man. That is disgusting. Now, going back to what I said about the working class human trafficker versus the international elite human trafficker. I already know this video is not going to get no views. The algorithm is not going to boost it. But this is a difference. This is a difference. You see, in the first world, we dealing with the working class human traffickers. In the third world countries, black children are going through the same exact thing, but they're going through it with what I call the international elite wealthy human traffickers. Take a look up on the screen. There was a story way back. Nobody talked about it because, like I said, the white mainstream corporate media did not put the money behind it. They didn't promote it, so nobody talked about it. You know, like I said, the white man controls what black people care about. I told you this before. If the white man ain't putting money behind it and promoting it, black people ain't gonna talk about it. But anyways, years back, there was a story about this girl from West Africa, the Ivory Coast. And yeah, just take a look up on the screen, man. Montreal man bought girl 8 years old from Ivory Coast to Canada as a sex slave. The man, identified by local media as 60-year-old Sylvain Villemer, made the girl sign a contract saying he could do whatever he wanted to her. Now, I don't know how an 8-year-old girl could sign a contract or read the terms and conditions of legal documents, but whatever. You know, this Canadian man decided that, you know, 8-year-olds can sign contracts and things like that. So what happened was this dude went to an impoverished section of Ivory Coast, right? You know, went to an impoverished section, right? It's like going to Haiti, going to the slums deep in Port-au-Prince where the gangs is at. Like, bro, we going deep. You know, where ain't nobody got running water, ain't got nobody got nothing. We going deep into the villages, into the slums, into the ghettos. That's where he went, right? He hopped on a jet. This Canadian man hopped on the damn plane and went to some poor section in Ivory Coast. Now, when he got there, now we got to be honest about our people, man. You know, especially our people that be worshiping Jesus in these impoverished areas, man. Listen, they seen that Canadian white man. Oh my God, Jesus Christ. You already know how it went. So somehow this dude ended up making associations with some local woman with a child, right? This lady who had a child. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that he had intimate relations with her first. I believe he was having sexual relations with her first. And then he was like, yeah, I mean, you're cool, but I really want your baby. And of course, you already know how it goes, man. You know, our people in these impoverished sections in these countries, they look at, you know, the white man civilization like it's the second coming of Jesus Christ. Oh my God, Western civilization. Oh my God, Western university, Western education, Western infrastructure. So, you know, he probably, you know, sweet talking the lady. You know, I could take the baby to school. You know, I could take it to school. I could take it to Canada. You know, we got everything we need in Canada. You know, Canada is amazing in Canada. You know, everything is lit in Canada. And you know, the mother, like I said, she comes from very humble background. She don't know nothing about what's happening outside the continent of Africa. She probably thinks like, okay, you know, this white man, you know, looking like Jesus Christ came and, you know, he got money and he got, you know, he got Adidas on his feet and shit like that. And he be hopping on planes, traveling the world. And, you know, he got a brand new iPhone. So he must got money and stuff. You know how it goes, man. You know, our people who don't know much, people from these small towns and these small sections, these impoverished sections, you know how it goes. So long story short, she entrusted her daughter in the care of this Canadian man, right? And he took her back to Canada and he did put her in school. And it's been a while since I read up on the story, but essentially, I mean, her life consisted of just being at this man's pleasure. I'm not going to get into the ins and outs and the details of what was going down. It's actually extremely graphic and extremely depressing. You can search that up on your own time. But luckily, I forget how exactly they rescued her, but she did get rescued, thank God. And this man is behind bars for many years, you know, thank God. But this is what you call an international wealthy human trafficker, right? This guy doesn't need to be on the dating apps trying to get, you know, little girls from, you know, across town, because those guys, they can't afford to hop on the goddamn plane and go into the villages in Africa and really pick out what child they want. They can't do that. They got to go, you know, into the back streets on these, you know, weird internet channels, try to, you know, sneak kids off and go to the hotel room and sneak them into their house. Just a bunch of just low life nonsense. But when it comes to the international human trafficker, he's way more sophisticated. He knows, listen, I'm just going to leave the country. I'm going to go to a country where the laws protecting children aren't as stiff, right? Another difference is the working class human trafficker is not like slumming in these impoverished areas. No, they getting girls from good areas, good schools, good districts, good counties, and those girls are simply vanishing without a trace. Whereas the international human trafficker, he actually gets acquainted with the mother, you know, gets acquainted with the family, actually builds up an image in their mind like, I'm the second coming of Christ, you know, I'm the Western man coming to save you from your poverty and your misery. And then he ends up, through the trust that he builds with the family, then he can get his hands on the children. And long story short, the only solution for the working class human trafficker is stay on top of your kids, understand what apps they're visiting. Also, just show them these stories. Show them these stories about be careful who you talking to, because listen, such and such went missing and we don't know where they at. You know, kids go missing, you know, they get kidnapped. Be careful who you talking to. I straight up tell the siblings in my family, listen, be careful who you talking to on these apps, man. People be getting kidnapped up on these goddamn apps. Know who you talking to. And when it comes to the international human trafficker, the only solution for that, if people are in poverty, you got to make sure your people not in poverty. That's it. That goes to a government level, economic level. That goes way deeper, because you got to insulate your people to where they don't fall victim to some random white man hopping off a plane talking about, look at me, I'm the Western man and I'm here to save you. Like, if you don't want your people falling victims to that, you got to put certain things in place to protect your people, provide for your people, insulate your people, protect your people, man. That's all. For example, I believe there was a law that was recently put in place in Uganda, right? I believe if they catch you like messing with the little kids, that's like a death penalty. Like, you got to have hard laws in place. And the reason Uganda put that in place is because the government of Uganda knows, you know, these men from Western civilization, these men from these Western countries, they hopping on these planes and they go into the villages of Uganda. So the government put that in place to where, listen, you're not going to touch our kids, man. You're not going to touch our kids. And if you do, you're not going to make it back home. That's a death penalty offense. So yeah, man, I've been sitting on this story for a couple of days, man. I didn't really know how to report it. I try to approach it in the best way I can, in the most respectful way I can, without offending the platform, without offending any of the parties involved, without offending the family. Remember, like I said, don't come into the comment section with any slick comments. We're talking about children here. We're talking about 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old, 11-year-old, 12-year-old, 13-year-old, 14-year-old girls. We're talking about children here. So be respectful in the comment section. No slick comments, no sideways comments. It's your boy Nevaeh Bell, Cash App up on the screen, and I'm gone. Peace. Reincarnated, I'm back in original fashion. I left on a horse and came back in that ass, and I left with abundance and came back to famine. We used to be pyramids, now we be rapping. Look how the mighty have fallen. Used to be running, now we be walking. When you be cooning, that's when they applauded. Selling your soul, your sons and your daughter. Gotta come up in this shit, they stuck in the mix. Really, my heart it be breaking. That's why I'm stacking that paper and handle my business. Pass it down in generation. Talking about money and power and building a nation. That's a deadly combination. Never be watching the TV, they pushing agendas, falsifying information. Know they got malice intentions. Step in the room and I'm feeling the tension. Enemy watching, he blocking my vision. Came for the check cause I need my redemption. Building my kingdom, I need it protected. Ready for war like a young Money Congo. Never decided the team is the motto. Up in the crib and I'm whipping up waffles. Up in the crib and I'm smoking gelato. I'm chilling, I'm taking my pain and make it ambition. I'm blessed by the gods, but I ain't religious. I came for the power, they came for the bitch. They making no hourly wage, I got business. This shit is an art and they could never be taught. Selling my soul, I can never be bought. Play with my money, I see you ain't caught. Run to the check and I do it for sport. Babylon falling, I go to the source. Packing my luggage and go overseas. Shorty be with me and she so elite. Shorty be chocolate, I'm calling her Hershey. Secret intelligence probably gon' murk me. Don't fuck with brands cause nigga I'm Haitian. Say the wrong shit and you're smacking their faces.